Hello, this is MrChabry. We are here ready for some more good old Soulsilver. So I found my place in my booklet because we're going to do some more training. Exciting, isn't it? But this should be our last bit of training before we take on the next gym leader. That's the thing about this part of the game. There's like so many areas where you have to train. But anyway, I'm going to try to get some more experience on Eclipse. Eclipse is kind of falling behind. This is Route 8. There are some Pokemon that are pretty interesting to find out here. The main one being, you can actually find Haunter in the wild here, which is kind of crazy. It actually makes sense, I guess. Over in Lavender Town, we haven't really went to it, but there's the radio tower where the Pokemon tower used to be. So I guess it makes sense. Some of the ghost types have migrated over here after they, took down the cemetery and put a radio tower in its place, which is kind of weird. Accuracy drop, interesting. We're going to get hit with a nasty heat wave. We should take that very well because Eclipse's special defense. And I'll actually go for a Confuse Ray. But yeah, you can find Haunter here, which is pretty interesting. You can also find Abra and Kadabra. Meowth if you're playing Soulsilver. You can get Pidgeotto. You can get Vulpix if you're playing Soulsilver, Growlithe if you're playing Heart Gold, Noctowl are found here, and then the Haunters. If you headbutt, you can actually find Combee here, which is a Gen 4 Pokemon, which I think that's something they should do more often. Have newer Pokemon found in these different routes. I think that would be pretty cool if they did a little bit more of that, but we're going to go ahead and send out our Seeker here and just go for a Surf. Nice. We defeated Gentleman Milton. So next up is this Super Nerd guy. You know what? We haven't used Rocky in a while. Haven't been using Rocky much because he's kind of has a problem with over leveling himself. But yeah, I think we'll let Rocky get a little bit of experience here. We're going to go ahead and click that Earthquake, that beautiful Earthquake. And Magnemite is quad weak to ground, so it's going to go down pretty quickly. Also, question of the day, it's been pouring down here. Sometimes I feel like you might be able to hear it on the mic. I don't know if you do. Crunch, I'll just keep my old moves. But yeah, it's been pouring down here. So I'm going to ask you the question, or not really ask you the question. Tell me a rainy day story. I remember when I was younger, it was pouring down, like, I guess the day before or something. And we had to go somewhere. But there was like, the streets were flooded. So instead of, instead of driving there because it would have been bad on our engine, we just walked there. It's like a vague memory I remember, trying to walk through the rain because there was too much water built up on the street. Or something like that. Something like that. We were on the sidewalk, so it wasn't as much water as the roads. You've got a little bit of an elevation there. But yeah, that's one that I remember. We've got a quad grass type team here. this young couple. They have a C-Dot and a Lotad, which are pretty cool to see, you know, some Gen 3 love put out there. It's pretty cool seeing that. I'll tell another rainy day story. Or one time it like rained a ton the day before, or it rained a ton earlier, and this was when Jessie had an apartment. So I went outside her apartment and the whole street was flooded. Like, luckily my car was parked off to the side, so it didn't get to where my car was. But there was some neighbors that had their car parked over where it actually flooded, and it actually just it ended up flooding getting into the engine of one of their cars. So there was a bunch of cars that were just dead because the water flooded up into their engine. And I remember because I went outside and I saw it was like almost up to my knees when I was trying to walk to my car. And when I finally got to my car, I looked back at, the road I'd have to drive, and I was like, I won't be able to go home. I won't be able to pull out of here. Anyway, now we got the super nerd guy who's actually got a Grimer and a Muck. I'll go ahead and let Zephyr take care of them. But yeah, that's what I remember. It was just a ton of water. Couldn't drive in it. But yeah, that's sometimes what happens here when it rains like that. There's some places, closer in town where it floods. Usually if it rains a lot, it's going to flood there. There's some businesses that are in that little flood zone, which is crazy because, it's like a pretty constant thing there. And there's some restaurants that are right there on that flood zone, so. Anyway, this Muck shouldn't be too much of a problem. This Muck actually has the Toxic Orb. It's actually holding the Toxic Orb. I don't know if it has a switcheroo move or something like that. I don't know why they gave this one the Toxic Orb. Normally, you're not going to come across that. Maybe you can thief it and then have it for yourself, maybe. Which isn't going to do much unless you have a poison type of your own, or if you have a Guts Pokemon, that would actually be pretty helpful. But yeah, that's probably a way to get a Poison Orb for yourself. Alright, so here we've got a whole slew of bikers that we have to battle. Biker Dwayne, Biker Harris, and Biker Zeke. And mostly they use Coughings. There's one guy that's got a Flareon instead. I guess he's basically the boss. The boss of this crew. But yeah, Zephyr's going to get a lot of experience here, which is really great because at one time Zephyr was falling behind. That was mainly because it didn't have any Psychic Stab. This thing didn't have any Psychic Stab moves for a while. But now that it does, it's actually a very helpful Pokemon on our team. It actually does a lot for us. Alright, and it was pretty quick, pretty simple. For the Flareon, I'll actually put Eclipse up just to get a little bit of experience, then I'll hard switch into Seeker. I just need Eclipse to get some sort of experience because we're going to be needing Eclipse in the next episode quite a bit. And I want Eclipse to be ready for when we need it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hard switch into Seeker. And we'll go for a Surf. A Surf, guys! Surf time! Alright. And that should take care of this Flareon pretty quickly. Nice. Yeah. And level 46. So pretty nice. Most of our mons are pretty caught up. Go ahead and put Zephyr up front again. Alright, this is the Kanto Biker Federation or something. I think this would have been a cool thing that they could have done, or, you know, fleshed out a little bit more in the Kanto section of Gen 2 and even Gen 4. They have this Biker Federation, which is kind of, you know, taking over some of the routes. They could have, you know, leaned into that a little bit more. Have it where you have to help defeat them. Maybe they're, you know, they have a leader. Or trying to take over the Kanto region or something. I don't know. Mostly when you're going through the Kanto region, it's just battling these different areas, and you're not really, you know, like a single plot thread holding the Kanto portion of the game together. It's just, you know, go battle. That's basically it. There's not much else to that. Anyway, this guy's got, you know, 4 coughings. That's a step up from the other guy who had 2 coughings. But his coughings are at a lower level, so maybe this is not a step up. And this should be his last coughing. And as we saw, this thing does not handle a psychic very well. So a quick knockout on this coughing, and there we go. This whole route has been cleared out. And with that, we're just going to walk into Saffron City. And the repel wore off. I forgot I put repel on. I don't even remember when I did that. I don't remember. Anyway, here we are in Saffron City. I'll go ahead and find the Pokemon Center. Pokemon Center is way at the bottom. Yeah, there we go. We'll go ahead and heal up. And then in the next episode, we should be ready to take on the gym here. Which I'm actually interested in seeing how that goes, because the main Pokemon I want to use is going to be Umbreon, and I feel like Umbreon's kind of, you know, falling behind in levels. Alright, and we'll go ahead and end the episode here. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you in the next Pokemon video.